Ever wonder why some home service businesses are locally famous? They're not using the same pay per lead and crowding marketing strategies as everybody else. They're actually using this hometown hero framework that we're gonna share in this video. First of all, you gotta go deep, not wide. Look at the top 3 zip codes in your CRM. Where did your closes come from? If you understand where your closed business is coming from, you can get hyper locally focused with all your marketing efforts. Stop spreading yourself so thin. It's hard to get locally famous if you're trying to be locally famous in 5 different cities. Get hyper focused on one area. Use this 12-pack strategy to dominate neighborhoods. Basically, it's a service announcement strategy. You go to each of the neighbors, the 12 closest neighbors to the house that you're at working, and you knock the door and you say, hey, by the way, we're doing work in the area. We're actually helping your neighbor right now. And a lot of the people in this area have this issue with their home. So if you have this issue, let us know. If you want a free inspection, by the way, while I'm here, I can get it done. Here's a little bit from my boy Brad Akers about that topic.
So we have a plumbing company that we work with. They're in and out, and similar to HVAC. A lot of the time they're called out, they do the inspection, they have a tech there, and they do the work on the spot. What we do with the plumbing company is after they've done the initial diagnosis and they're pretty sure they know what's going on, we're going to talk to the neighbors to help complete the diagnosis. What we say is, hey, we're talking to Susie. This is what we've noticed. Her water's having some issues. She has a lot of film on her shower. We realize she has a soft water problem and it definitely needs to be looked at. Before we fully diagnose it, we just want to see if the neighbors are experiencing something similar, because that actually will help us go from 90% to 100% sure of what's going on. And that can change for different things. So with HVAC, it can be maybe checking, hey, was your home also built by Lennar? Okay. That helps us make the diagnosis, because if we know that this person is experiencing this, we could look at it and say, hey, it's just the unit, but it also could be the person who built the house if we're in a certain area. There's a lot of different things. How can we make the neighbors a part of the project as much as possible? A part of the diagnosis or just a part of the communication to magnify the fact that you're there, but we want to do it not in a salesy way, but in a service-oriented way, where we're just trying to give better and better service, not, hey, I'm talking to you only because I want you to buy from me. Because if that's the vibe they get, then it won't work.
Use this 5 times rule to become 5 mile famous. So the 5 times rule is just hammering the same people with the message over and over and over again. So if you're gonna do yard signs, and if you're gonna have truck wraps, and if you're gonna do all these things that are actually not that expensive, but it does cost time and energy, you wanna tighten the locations that you're pushing in. Because then if somebody sees you 5 times, they're much more likely to call you up. So when you're spreading yourself thin, they're not likely to, but if they saw you 3 times in the neighborhood this month, they're much more likely to consider you when they have an issue. And that's called the mere exposure effect. The mere exposure effect means that simply by seeing your company more often, you're more likely to be trusted. It's a strange psychological quirk, but you can use it to market your home service business. Being 5 mile famous, what does it mean? Well, hey, it means the gas station attendant knows your name and says, I see your trucks everywhere. Who is that? Who are you guys? Tell me about you. The key is if you're doing direct mail, if you're doing Facebook ads, if you do it all in one area, people are more likely to see you, and then you become famous to them. Yeah, okay, it's hard to become famous, like really famous, but 5 mile famous is way easier to do. To become famous to 5,000 people is not that hard. So once you get into this mindset of 5 mile famous, your marketing is gonna go so much further. Concentrate, use the 5 times rule to hit them over and over and over again until you're the only one they call. That's science. Next, stop shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome means you're running from marketing thing to marketing thing. Oh, this next tool's gonna fix my whole life. It ain't fixing shit. You have to focus on the biggest things that are the most likely to make you money, and that is by looking at your CRM and saying, where are our biggest concentration of leads, but actually closed deals? Where did all of our closed deals come from? When you look at the closed deals, hey, there's 5 closed deals in the last month from referral, from Google Business Profile. And then these are our 2 that we're doubling down on. And you might wonder, hey, how can I double down on those? Well, you can get reviews every single time, and you can post on Google Business Profile every single day and add images to Google Business Profile. Boom. Second, how are we gonna get more referrals? There's no way to increase more referrals, Tim. There is. You can gift homeowners after you do a job. You can ask them, hey, can I get 1 referral from you of a neighbor before the end of the week as you're in the kitchen with them? And then give them a gift card for $25, $50 if they make that introduction. Not if the deal closes, if they make the introduction. Boom, you're increasing referrals right now with that. People always ask me, Tim, hey, what should I do if I'm early? And I'm trying to help them. The biggest thing is you double down on what's working. That's early too. Where did you get your customers so far? Do that first. You're not gonna go spend all this money over here and all of a sudden get a bunch of leads, okay? That's very hard to do. Double down on what's working now for you and your business. Really focus on that. That's always gonna be good. Use this magic video formula. It's the 7-2-1 strategy. So 7, do 7 videos out of 10 that are how-to and helpful. Hey, here's a tip for homeowners. Hey, this is what I would do if my AC unit was making this noise. Those types of things. Things that are helpful and that will get them reminded about your business when they're having a plumbing, HVAC, or other home service issue. 2 of your videos should be funny. They could be mistakes, they could be entertainment, they could be memes, they could be tracing trends. A lot of times I see people focus entirely on trends. And trends are cool because you get views, but we need money. We need money from our marketing, right? So don't spend your entire time focused on trendy stuff on social media. And then last, 1 video out of 10, you should have a direct ask for business and referrals. So yes, every once in a while you say, hey, by the way, if you had a great experience with us, we'd love it if you'd refer your neighbors, if your friends. Thank you guys so much for trusting us. Have a little bit more of a call to action. Gary Vee says, jab, 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 right hook, which means give, 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 ask. And some of you have the problem where you don't give at all. You're just asking the whole time. But then I see other business owners and marketers that never ask at all. So yes, you want to give, 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 but then you gotta throw that right hook. And as you're publishing more content, hey, content is marketing. Don't get it twisted. What else is marketing? Even ads, we gotta come up with content to make the ad good. But as you're publishing content, don't make this mistake. Don't just publish, and not listen and see what's actually working. We need to keep refining the messaging and not just publishing more content. We would need to refine the messaging. Hey, I saw this get us leads when we posted this kind of content. What actually got leads? What actually closed the deal? That's what we do. We look at all of our blog posts, all of our videos, and when the deal closes from some piece of content, boom, we're making more of it. You should always have that cycle in place. So if you're a marketer in a home service business, you should be going to the sales meeting and asking what closed and why. Get into that sales meeting, ask the questions, and utilize that information to make better content. Also, double down on reach. So once you see a video that goes to 100,000 views or 10,000 views or 5,000 views, why? Why did it do that? We're gonna get better, we're gonna do more of that. Some of you guys are publishing content. We got social media experts out here publishing content with 200 views over and over and over and over again. I have no problem with you publishing 200 view videos. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, you're done? You're sticking with that? I would not trust somebody that just posted 200 view videos over and over again. Let's get better every single time. It's an experiment, but no offense, a 200 view video is a failure experiment. 1,000 views, if you don't normally get that, that's a success experiment. 10,000 views, boom, wild success, right? 100,000 views, now we're cranking 1 million. Once you start getting 1 million view videos regularly, and some of you guys are going to, if you really get in this experiment mode, you're gonna get addicted to it. And it's gonna be good for you. And you're gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna keep on figuring out how to make that make you money. It's always a mixture of the two. How to get more views, how to get more money. How to get more views, how to get more money. You got this. Here are 3 fatal mistakes and how to avoid them in your home service marketing. Stop ditching what's working too soon. Like I said, the shiny object syndrome is real. Once you find something with 5x ROI, double down. And every single year and every single quarter, you should be looking at your top 5 lead generation sources and trying to double down. And as time goes on, 10x what you've been doing. It's usually more activity You know, yes, you want to increase the quality, but it's usually more activity. How are you going to create systems around this thing? Like the absolute ideal is trying to think about your business like it's a media company. If you could start to think about your business like it's a little media company, even if you just got one person in that role first, a couple people in that role, you think about yourself as a content creator, you're a media company, because this is what it is, it's attention. How are you gonna get more business? It's how to get more attention and then flip that attention into business. And then next, a big mistake is not responding to leads in under 5 minutes. A lot of you guys are trying to get more leads. You think leads are gonna save you. They're not gonna save you. Not if you don't have the ability to respond to those leads immediately, and then people answering the phones that are super nice and book the call. Look at your booking rate, make sure you have the best people on the phones, and incentivize them. Create performance pay to help the people on the phone book more calls. You know, it does get into sales a little bit. We're selling peace of mind, not just parts and certifications. You know, a lot of people get really focused on, hey, here's a feature, this is what we do. But as time goes on, I know a lot of you know this, but if you don't already, it's about the peace of mind of the homeowner, and you're selling that peace of mind and you're trying to help them, not just sitting around trying to explain all the details. So if you don't have sales systems and role play and coaching in your business, trying to help your salespeople level up on a regular basis, you're probably wasting money a little bit on your marketing. And speaking of 5x ROI, we have an amazing Google Maps SEO product called rankmap.ai, and a client of ours, Built Right Construction, check out their testimonial here. How has the experience been working with Hook Agency? Would you recommend it to another roofing company?
I would not recommend Hook Agency to my competitors. It's been great. Our results speak for themselves, and also the map that you had showed with our rankings in our local area is just absolutely insane.
They were ranking nowhere on Google Maps for their top terms like roof repair and roofing contractor, and they worked with us on this, and in 4 months, boom, 1, 2, and 3 on Google Maps in a very short period of time. And really the principles are simple, and I'll tell you how we did it so that you can do it for yourself, even if you don't work with us. The biggest thing is we posted on Google Business Profile every single day. At the time where we know Google Business Profile wants us to post, it's treating Google Business Profile like a social media account. Like not acting like it's just some profile, acting like it is a social media profile. And that's the crazy thing that people don't know is Google tried to have a social media thing called Google Plus and it failed. But Google Business Profiles are built on the back of that infrastructure that they built back in the day. And that's the secret that a lot of people don't know about Google Business Profile. You gotta treat it like a social media account. Post every single day, respond to every single Google review, and add images on a regular basis. And yes, we mix in keywords when we use rankmap.ai. This is our service for Google Business Profile optimization. We do your initial optimization, and we use keywords in the Google Business Profile post to help you get higher. And it's not even that expensive. It's only $1,000 a month. So sign up at rankmap.ai. I talked to you about why some home service businesses are locally famous and others are just obscure. And all of this is just a fraction of what I've learned this last 3 months as I've interviewed 25 people that are running massively successful businesses in the home services space. Many of them over 10 million, some of them over 50, and a few over 200 million in revenue. And I've compiled all the best insights and turned it into a book called How to Become a Hometown Hero. And you can get it July 1 for $1, the digital pre-release, and I'll also send you the audiobook copy just on July 1 on the pre-release date if you buy it that day, because I'm trying to hit the bestseller on Amazon. So I'm doing this deal for you. Check it out. Sign up for that at hookagency.com/hero. So go there now, sign up, and we'll make sure you get that audiobook version and become 5 Mile famous and a hometown hero in your area. Peace.